What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the 3&D podcast, Australia's favourite podcast. I'm Nabs. As always, I'm joined by Yoz and Moz.
In the house.
What's happening, guys?
Not much. Enjoying the playoffs.
We're back.
You guys?
Yeah.
Loving it.
How we doing? Rested? No, we just finished playing pickup.
Another early one. Another early game tomorrow.
Cool. Let's get into it. So, after an all-imposing season where the opposing teams were treating Wemby like that smelly kid from school, he has finally been awarded the Rookie of the Year. This is a unanimous Rookie of the Year award. He is only one of 7 to have it historically. Great achievement. Congratulations to Wemby. The way that it was presented was Fanatics was put on an exhibition where they treated Wemby to trading cards of the past, of legends of the past, and they had screens where legends would send personal messages to Wemby. It was a big ordeal or a big event. I wanted to get your thoughts, so I'm going to start with you, Yoz. Firstly, what do you think of Wemby winning the award? And give us your thoughts actually on the award itself and what you thought this season.
Like the start of the season, and look, obviously before the All-Star break as well, when I think Chet was leading the race. Looking at like the performance at the moment in the playoffs, could you imagine Wemby on that OKC team doing what could you imagine the output compared to what Chet's giving? Like, I think that it felt like after that game where they met, and Wemby became the clear front runner, feels like Chet's just another big now. He can still, still do some magic. It's great to watch, but it just seems like he's not imposing himself the way on defense or on offense the way Wemby would if he was on that position. So I mean, clearly you can see the contrast in their games now. You've put him in a situation where they need a win.
Do you think he deserved it overall from his class? Was there anyone even close?
Well, I said before I really got familiar with Wemby, I had picked Miller. That's who I had. A lot of people had Scoot. I don't know how they had Scoot, but I think he was the most deserved from his class. And having Chet do the Ben Simmons type of thing where he sits out, but he's been around the team. It's sort of. I'm very glad Chet didn't get it. But yeah, nobody came close to Wemby, man. The historic numbers, historic year. Just a shame at the results with the Spurs,
Moz, did you see the exhibit? Did you see?
Yeah, I had a quick look at it.
Did you see how it was presented to him?
I liked it.
Yeah, what did you think? Give us your thoughts about.
It was unique. It was unique, and on top of NBA, Fanatics are like making him the cornerstone for the next era. So. They need a new face of the NBA, and as we're transitioning from LeBron to the new era, it's going to be the era of the big guards, in my opinion.
It's also smart. I mean, the conversation with Ant or Wemby or whatever, it's smarter. I mean, even though Ant's amazing, Wemby's the smart option, and going global with the game and stuff like that, appealing to all.
They did it with Kobe, and now it's Wemby's turn.
Yeah. you love that whole Kobe. But that what you said, like I'm not sure. You guys are nuts with cards, so I'm going to ask. I read something that Topps has signed Wemby, and they can only have Wemby. Is that something that's true?
So the way it works, right? It's a big.
They put all the eggs in his basket. Yeah.
At the moment, the way it works is Fanatics has won the license from Panini. I don't know if you've heard of Panini. Panini's lost the contract. Fanatics outbid them. This season, they Panini is on the way out and Fanatics is on the way in. The problem is there's a limbo whether Fanatics can start using the team jerseys on the cards. So
the patches or like that, the jersey?
Yeah. No. So if you look at the Wemby rookie card from Topps, it doesn't show the jersey.
It doesn't show his jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the image?
The NBA jersey.
I didn't even I saw the card, but I didn't even.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
So
even
this season they want to cash in on his rookie year, so they should. But they're stuck in the dilemma where Panini's. They're actually stuck in the court case as well.
So it's like when we were kids and we wanted to play NBA Live 95 and stuff, and we could never have Jordan in the game.
Oh, well, Charles Barkley
Charles
and
Barkley too,
2K, yeah.
Many players.
So it's like that. But I believe season 24-25 will be the first official license year for Fanatics. They've got Tops,
yeah.
and Tops are the only ones that can make officially licensed NBA cards.
So what happens to all the previous Paninis? They're still valuable?
They'll, depends, but the numbered cards will go up. And I was having a chat to Nabs about this. Towards the later ends of Panini's run, they just ruined the market and just overprinted everything.
I did that.
They did the 90s. They just want to smash out and get as much money as they can. Ruin the market.
Called? The garbage.
Junk wax.
Junk wax.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is where we at.
That's interesting, yeah, because I just was asking because I heard the other day, like I saw a comment. I was actually reading the comment thread, and a guy was saying, they're doing cards of Wemby and they're not even real. Da, da, da. And then someone just checked him and was like, well, actually.
Yeah, they are real.
They've licensed, they've put all their eggs in the Wemby basket. And yeah,
not to mention they signed LeBron as well. So LeBron's going to start doing autos again. Tops.
So this shift with cards, I mean, it's been in talks for a while, this transition when Fanatics took over, but they don't have it completely. So they're trying to get the whole official license and whatnot. But the thing that collectors are excited about is, for a long time, you can't get Michael Jordan autos because he's not licensed by Panini. Or Panini didn't get the license. He's with Tops or...
I think Upper Deck.
Yeah,
So
now that Fanatics is taking on, the understanding is that they'll own all of it, or they'll be able to influence all of them and work with all of them and be able to bring in more players and signatures and whatnot. Just on Wemby, going back to Wemby, so he was asked by a reporter to reflect on his rookie season, and this was really interesting. So what he said was, I didn't exceed expectations, I should have done more. And that's pretty cool to see that level of awareness, self-awareness and maturity at his age, and not get caught up with the bright lights of, being in the NBA and being, because they sheltered him in France. They kept him away from all the spotlight and everything. A lot of people were saying that's what helped develop him into...
And that's why a lot of people questioned his abilities, because there wasn't enough tape for them to make their decision. But
yeah, so
eggs on their face. What
are your thoughts on him, being at that level already and responding in that way? Do you think it's cap, or do you actually think he really does feel that way?
Look, Michael Jordan came into the league. We're going to go back to Michael Jordan. He was skill-wise, he was the GOAT. When he came into the league, pretty much, the ability he had. But the way he carried himself in the media and the way he humbled himself as in, I stand on the shoulders of those before me. I'm nowhere near that level yet. I need to keep improving every day, and hopefully one day I'll be one of those guys. That's the face of the NBA. Yeah. That's the answer you want. It's a carefully constructed answer. It's not being like, like Jokic, when Jokic is like, oh yeah, whatever. Sometimes we do it. Like it's him. He's protecting his image. He's like, I'm not going to come out here and be cocky. I'm going to give respect to all the greats. I mean, I think it's cap, but I think it's the right answer.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the rest of the awards. So there's a lot of awards that were handed out. One of them we'll get to in a minute, but I just wanted to address the awards themselves. Are we happy with when they're being released or when they're being announced?
Or how?
And how? Yeah, I mean, I know TNT has like the contract.
Slack, man.
But the way they're doing it, I mean, it's great for views for TNT crew. Because they always, I think it's Ernie and those guys that are announcing them, or majority of them, which is cool. Okay, but are we happy with the way that they're being announced? Is that fine with you?
Do you want to go first?
Go, Morse.
Just quickly to address. Remember last week what I said about ESPN? It's not the big boy on the media anymore.
Pabev.
No, ESPN.
And
Oh,
this-
ESPN. Oh yeah, how TNT is also giving up. They've lost their rights, haven't they?
Look, they've got the awards on their show now, not on the ESPN.
Yeah, well I know TNT
they've had
next
it for a
year.
while.
I know TNT next
Yeah,
year.
but that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about the ESPYs and stuff, the different awards.
No, I'm saying ESPN as a channel. It's not the big boy.
Well, we'll see because I know TNT. Haven't they just lost their rights for next season? They even
No,
talk
it's
about stopping
still-
that show.
Still being taught. But TNT is not the front runner. Apparently,
Yeah.
NBC is making a massive bid at the moment.
And Fox.
So it's
Fox in there.
still up in the air. But
ESPN's
it's,
nowhere there.
it's looking like, it's more likely to go.
Streaming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
Amazon. But I think they'll have a dual thing because how do you not eat into your profits? Because you've got the NBA app you want to develop.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from that to streaming? You have to bridge the gap somewhere. So it's likely that they'll do like a dual service where you can have the app on its own, or
And
you
they'll
can have
still
it incorporated as an extra fee in Amazon. or
Similar
whatever.
to what UFC does.
And it's like on Foxtel and all that. They've all got their channel. Like that's why they need to keep it because there's a lot of platforms that people that still today don't stream.
Yeah.
I mean, majority would stream, but yeah, there's a lot that are still watching it on the set.
Yeah,
set
well,
top
we're in
boxes.
Australia and we don't get anything on live TV on our,
Oh, you mean on the normal TV?
on normal TV.
Well,
we
they
don't get
did
anything.
last year, and the
I
year
think
before.
SBS
SBS
had
were
a couple
doing
of
on
games, yeah.
Vice. They
But
were-
the point is, we don't get that type
Yeah.
of, America I think America rely heavily on their TV
Free
deals
to air.
because, free to air get a lot of those sporting channels. We all rely on the NBA app, not to promote them because they charge an arm and a leg, but that's what we rely to watch it. And yeah, I feel like moving to Amazon or one of those services, might affect their, global base. I don't know, because I don't know if everyone has Amazon, but we are a little diverting a little bit.
So back to the
So
awards.
back to the awards. So the timing of when they're released. So when they're announced.
I don't like the whole shebang of the timing, how they're doing it, and the lackluster of the awards, so to speak.
You
I'm
want
not,
something more grand.
yeah, you want to make it more grandish.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Not we'll give the awards to a player just before the game. Like
the in-season tournament award was
come
more.
on, man. Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, get out of here, man! Like,
LeBron getting the record for the points was more of an
And-
event than the
they gave him a ball, didn't they?
It's ridiculous.
No, but they stopped the game.
Yeah,
they,
that's right. That's right.
The grandeur of these awards has lost its allure, so to speak.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I don't like
timing.
Yeah.
So are you happy with the way they're releasing?
No, I look. I do believe that time-wise, I think before playoffs and as the end of the regular season comes, maybe after that, before the last 3 or 4 games in the end of the season, have what do you call it? Like a dinner or something with an award ceremony, like the ESPYs and stuff.
There's a day when
Where
there's no games.
Yeah, well,
When they're doing the play-ins.
do you remember when they did that? Then Drake he hosted they did like a NBA event for something
Yeah.
like that. What was that again?
ESPYs.
Was that the
I
awards?
think it was the ESPYs. I think they actually announced it at that. They did announce.
And they had Kevin
awards.
Hart
I
up, and
think
everyone
it
was given a.
all
It
NBA.
was a
That
full.
year? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
that one year.
They used to do it after.
The
I think
NBA
it was after the playoffs.
No, but this was once. I think they've done this.
Yeah, it was
like,
after the playoffs. I think.
Yeah, it was like the NBA show or whatever, and they
Yeah.
encompassed. It should be something like that.
That's when Drake was putting it on. Who was it? I think it was one of the players, and he didn't like it.
Oh yeah, and it was Kevin. All the comedians
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
all the comedians were there.
So the timing's rubbish. I agree.
And-
I think the way they're announcing it is rubbish before the games and whatever.
But do you see the way they do it? Like so blasé is like even half the time. I think the other day, whoever it was Chuck that read the MVP. I'm not going to say, but he said the team before he even said before he even said the MVP award. He said the team.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. And then you saw what Shaq. We'll obviously get to that later. You saw Shaq with the MVP.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, mate, these are meant to be prestigious awards. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're comparing LeBron to Mike and Kobe and all this because of the MVPs
Mm-hmm.
and this that. Have Michael Jordan come down and give him the Michael Jordan Award.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Why is it
agree.
called a Michael Jordan Award
Yeah.
if you're just going to read it
I
out
don't
and be
think
like,
Michael
take
Jordan
it?
wants anything to do with it.
Well,
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Have somebody. Have a great coach. Have like,
something, man.
yeah, man, something.
Something.
So the other thing I wanted to get your thoughts on is the awards themselves.
Too many.
Some of the awards are, I found them to be
Trying to make
ridiculous.
It's
So
ridiculous.
I like Steph Curry, but
The
clutch
clutch?
player of the year. I mean, we're reaching now, man. And then I'll go through a few of them. So
And I don't think he was the clutch player of the year either. I mean, I'd be wrong because it's the definition of last
So-
how many minutes.
Wasn't it SGA?
so the coach of the year.
DeRozan, bro. Come on, man.
So the coach of the year went to the Thunder coach, Mark. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. Wemby got rookie of the year. Tyrese Maxey got most improved. Curry, clutch player of the year. Executive of the year. I mean, who cares about
Executive of the
executives,
year,
man?
who cares?
Brad Stevens. Caruso, Hustle Award. What? What?
Since when was that? I think?
What? And then
Hustle Award.
and then I'll leave the
Josh
other
Hart should have
three.
got it.
I'll leave the other four because I want to tie it in with what we're going to talk about next. But some of these awards, I mean, are we okay with this? Because I don't know the names of these awards or the awards themselves. They just seem a bit.
What next? They're gonna have the best dressed, the cleanest shoes.
Kicks
What
king.
is this? Yeah, kicks. The kicks.
What-
What's going on?
You
here?
know
But what do they say now? Let's introduce the best player award
Yeah.
because MVP isn't necessarily the best player.
What is the most ridiculous award you can think of tied in with this? Let's go with yours. Can you think of
The most
A
ridiculous
worse-
one that exists or that
a
could
worse-
possibly exist.
a worse award than Hustle Award or Clutch Player Award or what's the other one?
Yeah, I've got one straight off the bat.
Go. What have you got?
The stinkiest player award.
The flopping award. Award for most flops or tech fouls.
See, one I
So
think
you could call that a Shaq in the full award.
Yeah, I'd just be like, like you're a flog, the flog
Flog.
award. You're the flog that flops around all the time. You're the flog that I'm not talking about anyone
Imagine
particular.
the trophy.
but yeah.
Imagine what the trophy
like a
would
guy-
look like.
Oh, isn't that the Bron meme? Like the NBA? Like
I could call that the LeBron award.
this was not for you, LeBron. This is just I'm just saying. Like it's the Michael Jordan MVP and the La Flop award. Yeah.
The flop.
so
not
for
bad.
me
He'd win it
the
every year.
Yeah, he would.
for me look tying in with La Flop and all of that. I mean, there's so many ridiculous things, but I think one thing that they can do is introduce something along the lines of the Hustle Award. You know, maybe one who's taken the most charges, or a ridiculous one would be the Chucker Award, the George Costanza Award.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, that would be a good one.
Oh, the end one.
Because the amount
Yeah,
of
the
the
end
amount
one
of
was the
shots
most
that you
end
see
ones.
people throw up, you know, just what are you doing? If you tried to do that on any teams that I've been in, you'd be benched in a heartbeat. You know,
Diverting for half a second. There was a layup I saw the other day. I think it was
Kyrie,
no.
the one on 4 players.
No, this layup was oh shit. It was unbelievable. It was Jamal Murray. Oh my god, I have never seen a layup
one
like
off the
this.
base.
the up and
base
under.
My god.
Yeah,
I
was
had
that the one up and under, or was that the one that he hung and then come?
the one
up
that
on the
hung
right-hand side?
yeah, man, this layup.
Yeah, that was
I looked
nice.
watching it live, not the replay, watching it from the distance, not up
Yeah.
close. It was hectic.
Some of the ones Anthony Edwards does one similar to that. Even Jamal Murray. It looks like this sounds really weird, but it looks like they're defying gravity because
Yeah, it's 'cause
there's
they-
like a pause.
it's the way down. It's
It's
the hang.
crazy.
It's the hang
Yeah,
time that
yeah.
they measure.
And Jordan did
Yeah.
similar to that, but you see it more
The king of
exaggerated.
Yeah.
hang time was
It's
Jordan.
all about how they have their feet, how they're bending their legs.
Crazy,
But yeah,
crazy.
it is. it
Just
is
quickly
nuts.
back to the awards. I do have a good idea for one of the awards that I think all of us would like to see,
Tell me.
or if the NBA ever does do it.
NBA Jam Award.
No, the best fans award. Get the
Oh.
yeah.
Remember that Minnesota fan, KG days?
Yes.
Yeah, he still goes to games.
So
bro.
that
He-
way the fans would be involved in the
Who
awards.
would
yeah,
get
they
the
tried.
award?
They don't want fans involved. And
Who
the
would get
the
the-
Indian
hang on,
guy,
hang
the
on, hang on.
Raptors.
Hang on. Are you saying the best individual fan
No,
or the
no,
best fan
Yeah,
base?
yeah, the best fan base award.
Oh, okay.
For
that's
the
all right,
season.
yeah. I thought you meant the
no,
individual.
best fan base for the season.
You know, actually having that hung as a banner
yeah.
and then putting the year. Can you imagine? You take your son, you'd be like, "I was part of."
But
that
it would also
year,"
add,
you know?
it would add to the
that's
atmosphere
pretty
because
good.
you'd want to
I like
be,
that.
you'd
Yeah,
want to
see?
give it harder.
I like
Like,
that.
we want to get that again.
Yeah.
You'd end up having a
What's
League
his
of
name?
Europe.
Adam Silver,
Do it.
TM.
So we'll move on.
TM.
DM.
Now, that would be an awesome award. I think we'd all like that.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We'll move on because I want to wrap up the awards so we can get into the games. As there's been a lot of games. Well, actually, not so much because, it's slowing down for the playoffs, but there's a lot to talk about with those games. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up, actually, you know what? Let me say this before we wrap up. So the 4 that I wanted to speak about, the 4 awards that I left to last, it's the Timberwolves. So the Timberwolves received 4 awards. Rudy Gobert receiving the Defensive Player of the Year. Mike Conley, it is Mike Conley, right?
Mike Conley.
What about
Yeah,
him?
Mike Conley. He received Teammate of the Year.
He's won it
I've
multiple
never-
times. He's won
what?
it multiple. Yeah,
What was
teammate of the year.
Teammate of the
However,
Year.
I had not heard of this reward.
Oh, it's been.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Wait, there's more. There's
He's
more.
won it multiple times.
So Naz Reid,
Yeah,
well-deserved 6-man of the year.
with his weird 3-pointer.
And then, are you ready for this one?
yeah.
Are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one?
Look,
Zesty of the year.
no.
Social Justice Champion,
I've heard this one. Yeah,
Melo won the first
that's
one.
the Karim Abdul-Jabbar one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns.
So the
That
thing
I
is,
thought he'd get Zestiest Player of the Year. That's a good one.
in Australia, we don't know what social work they're doing, so it doesn't mean
I
anything.
don't
to
care.
us.
I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Honestly,
to us.
these
Like, social-
awards, they're getting...
Come do something in Australia, then we'll give you a pat on
This
the
is
back.
a reach.
Otherwise,
This is a reach.
I know where he's doing his social work at
Yeah,
those
but-
zesty places.
come do social work in Australia.
And the last
Give
one...
me a-
Come join me, brother.
Give me a ticket to All-Star game. I'll give you a vote.
So the last one, so we can move on. This week, the MV3 has been announced, has been
MV3.
crowned.
Oh my god.
Nikola triple-double Jokic. He regains his MVP status back from Joel the Groomer, the pickle punter Embid, who unfortunately was ineligible due to the NBA 65-game rule
Eat it.
that was in
Eat
place
it.
this year.
did.
Eat it.
You did.
Joker won it pretty convincingly
I don't think so.
No, on paper.
on paper.
On paper. But I agree with you.
So
I don't think
the
so in real
votes-
life.
the
Like,
votes, I think he won it quite convincingly.
Mm.
So that's a good point. So, Moz, do you agree with the MVP? Or do you think that there was someone more well-deserving?
I don't think it was unanimous. I don't think it was that clear. I mean,
Oh, unanimous. No.
this SGA and Luka were right there, man. They were right at his heels. But I don't get it, because if you're going to use the argument, he had the better record. Well, SGA had the better record too.
Yeah, it's funny that throughout
Isn't that
history,
what
there's
they
only-
use
yeah,
that-
well, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
funny throughout history. There's only been a few times that they don't do that.
Yeah.
But they were tied, weren't they? The records were tied, but the OKC was in first place, weren't they? Tied.
Yeah, they had the division. They won the
I
division.
I think pushed it over the
I
edge
just think
for.
the age should go. Yeah, go. Sorry.
I think pushed it over the edge for Jokic. It's I think because SGA had a rookie of the year caliber player on his team, and on the Denver Nuggets team,
Jalen Williams is way better.
on the Denver Nuggets team, he had no one eligible for the award. So,
But you had the Syrian assassin.
he was injured majority of the
Yeah,
season.
but you know who you got.
So I think that played a big factor. Big factor into how they nominated. But yeah, if they gave it SGA or Luka, I don't think anyone would have disagreed with that.
Yoz, what did you think of Joker's reaction when he received the award? Did you see
Humble man. I love the fact that you give props to all the players. I mean, it could have gone to anybody.
But did you
He's
see
right.
when he actually received it? Like there was a video of him celebrating. Did you see this?
Oh no, I didn't see that one. I just saw him
Explain it.
Did you
getting
see it?
No, explain
the
it.
award from Shaq and all them
Let's see if I can
telling him
find
he's
it.
won,
How's it going,
which
eh?
was wrong. Like I believe,
Explain it.
so I believe SGA should have won. That's what I wanted. But
Oh, show us.
if Jokic wins, I'm not going to turn around and say he didn't deserve it.
Put sound. Really?
That's it. That was him celebrating. So
It's probably
You know what? He's done. It's a job for him. He's said it.
Well, who
Basketball's
cares?
a job for him.
Let me ask you something. If someone gives you the Employee of the Month of work, do you care? Unless it comes with a pay rise.
Well, he gets a pay rise.
Yeah, but if it doesn't,
it's a big pay rise.
but if it doesn't, do
They're
you
talking
care?
about like 40 mil.
For Employee of the Month at work.
For MVP.
Oh, for him. Oh, yeah. No, but it doesn't matter. They're already milled up. Like, once you get to that stage, someone gives you 40 million, okay, whatever. Am
So
I
you
wrong
also-
or right, though? Like, you're going to...
But regarding his reaction, okay, so he also said in a press conference, when he was asked about the MVP race and, you know, how he thinks about it, he said, I'm kind of used to it. I don't even pay attention.
Good.
And there's a lot of criticism saying he doesn't even care about it. He doesn't even want it.
That's
and
good.
there were people more
He's
deserving.
focused.
This was the narrative that was being pushed. What do you think? Do you think that was justified?
I put myself in that situation if I was in that situation. And my answer would be, then give it to someone else. I don't ask you for it. I'm here to play basketball. We're winning. We want to go to a championship. That's all we want. If you want to give me that, by all means, give me that. But I don't care. That's not what we're playing for. And all you people playing for that, you're playing for numbers. You're not playing for the chip.
Personally, I think he deserved it over the nominees. I think Luka and SGA. I think he deserved it, personally. The numbers speak for themselves. I think there was a case to be made that there was some voter fatigue because time and time again, Jokic has those numbers and it's just becoming understandable or acceptable that he's just going to get those numbers no matter what. But credit where credit is due. He's still getting those numbers, you know, until someone stops him. I think he deserves it.
But let me ask you, they gave Russell Westbrook and they gave him the MVP, averaging a triple-double, right? And they were in the top 10. That was one of the cases where they didn't give him the MVP. They didn't give the MVP to the top team, right? He did the same thing the year after and didn't get it. But he did it for 2 seasons. And they said, oh, because he's already done it. Well, that makes it less amazing. It's more amazing he's done it twice. I just think to myself, when you said that voter fatigue thing, it showed that they were just like, oh, yeah, it's similar with what happened with Westbrook. So he got it. And then the next year he did it again. They're like, yeah, but you know what? Stat pattern. So you could use the same theory for Joker because he's getting the same numbers. He was getting the same numbers.
No, but his team's also performing.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I think any way you look at it, I think he did deserve it.
Yeah, he did.
Over the nominees. Even though I favoured Luka, but he just didn't have those numbers this year.
And having Kyrie with you, it's a lot harder to justify giving it to him. Same with I said Jalen.
more
There's
of
no
a
MVP
personal-
on that team.
Yeah, it was more of a personal.
Want.
I liked seeing Luka playing this season. It was good to see. Speaking of the Nuggets, let's get into the series, the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. There's been 3 games played. The first 2, the Timberwolves have stolen up at Denver. And today, Denver beat the Timberwolves 117-90. I don't think anyone saw the Timberwolves taking the first 2 games. They looked like by far the better team offensively, defensively. I'll get your thoughts on how you think the series is going. And I know nobody expected it, so maybe give us your thoughts on the first 3 games, how it's going. Moz, do you want to give us your thoughts on the series first?
Yeah, I was shocked because my take was the long break would have affected them, and heading into Mile High City, the altitude would have affected them. But man, these young bloods are hungry for blood. You saw what Ant-Man said after the game. I just want to kill everyone.
Rips their head off, yeah.
So, man, go hard. Because I've got Ant-Man rookies and they're stockpiling on Valley right now. Yoz?
What do you think of the series, Yoz? Do you think, obviously it's not going the way that we expected, but do you think the Nuggets have what it takes to, to make it competitive and to potentially win?
Yeah, 100%. As I said, they're defending champions. I said last week, I had them in 7. Was it 7, yeah? I had them in 7.
I have to check.
The 6 or 7. I'm pretty sure I moved it to 7 though. But and then I did have Denver dropping that first game, but not the second. I did not expect that they would 2. I thought Mike would come out and be like, no. Make the right adjustments right there and there. But crazy. I couldn't have words. I was speechless.
Dumbfounded.
That being said, I still think Denver showed who they are today, and I think they'll take the series.
So just some numbers. The first game, Minnesota took 106-99. They held the Nuggets under 100. Second game, 106-80. Again, they held them
With
under
no
100.
Gobert too.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
that was a
forgot
big-
Gobert was
Back, and he did not look like he was. He looked lost, man.
And this is an interesting one. The swing today, it's almost like Denver took those. Well, they had to take them personally, but they held them under 100. They held the Timberwolves under 100, so it was 117-90.
Did you see the coach before the game? He was still pissed.
Yeah.
He was mad.
Malone, man. He
Yeah,
was-
man.
Well,
So-
he said that they embarrassed us at home.
So I wanted to address that actually. Do you think the reason why? Because I'll bring up the stats. Because I think this game Denver shot a lot more free throws. There was a lot more people in foul trouble.
Yeah, there was.
Do you think that outburst from Coach Malone? Because in game 2, there was a crazy sequence where Michael Malone got right up in the face of, I can't remember the referee's name, came on the court, looked like he was about to punch on with him. Do you think that, and then also, I mean, that game had a lot of
Jamal
fireworks.
Murray?
There was a Jamal Murray incident.
What the hell was that?
Do you think
Who
those,
throws a heat pack?
so we'll get to that, but do you think the referees from game 2 also adjusted for game 3 because of what happened in
Yeah,
game
no
2?
doubt, 100%.
Because it seemed like the
It was tighter.
officiating was a little bit different.
It
And you
was.
could see the Timberwolves were getting frustrated because they weren't getting the same type of calls. That's what I saw. Do you guys
But
agree?
yeah, I do agree 100%. But that's what I thought what we would see. I thought, okay, it might be a bit difficult for him with Cat and Jokic down base. But honestly, I thought he would have got him into foul trouble game 1 and game 2 quickly, because the way the pump fakes, the footwork that he has down in that low post, he gets him to bite. Yeah, so I see going forward, that's how they would have been playing. Like. Initially, did you see the first 2 games how sped up Joker looked? Like, it looked like everything was done 2 steps quicker than what the team or what he's used to. Like, he was running up the court, the
It wasn't
passes
their
were
pace.
quick. Like, yeah, it was not at all, and it looked a lot better in game 3.
I think
lot
they did
better.
a scouting report on the refs. They took a page out of
no doubt.
Tibbs.
No doubt, no doubt,
Eh?
no diggity.
There was no scouting report on the players. It was a scouting report on the refs.
So we spoke about just briefly the Jamal Murray incident. So Jamal Murray in game 2,
How did he not get suspended?
there was footage of him
Draymond, yeah.
throwing two objects. See, I didn't see the second angle. He actually threw 2 objects. And when you look at it closely, first he threw a towel, or what looked like a towel, and then he threw a heat pack. And apparently he was targeting the referee, and that heat pack made it on the floor. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with having projectiles or objects being thrown on the floor, whether it's fans or otherwise.
Was it a chicken last time?
Yeah. And the result of it was no suspension. It was just $100,000 fine. Do you think that was enough? And what do you think the actual punishment should have been?
Well, it was directed at the ref, and I think it was a bit more severe than Rudy Gobert going. He copped the same fine, so I don't know. I mean, if the NBA wants to stay consistent, I think he should have copped a suspension for that one. I mean, how do you? That's unexcusable. You're throwing something at the refs, so. Yeah, it's not consistent at all. I guarantee you, if Draymond Green did it, or someone that was disliked by the NBA, they would have copped suspension. So just,
My only concern, bro, is if you see, goes under Cat's foot.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Just
my
before he jumps,
yeah, that's my concern. Like, other than that,
And a
like-
heat pack is not a stable object.
nah, man. And, I mean, you just got Cat back. Last thing, like, I'm not a fan of Cat, but you just got him back, and he's been balling out. Like,
It's
last
dirty.
thing you need now is him to go down.
He's trying to do a Zaza.
I didn't expect that of Jamal Murray,
Yeah,
bro,
that's-
at all. Like, I hold him in the high.
Did he address it? Did he apologize for it? Did he do not?
I
It was
didn't see
just
any press releases for it.
Swept on- See, I don't like that. I kind of lose respect for a player that does that.
When they sweep things under the rug,
No, when they don't address it, like they don't admit
like with
guilt,
Joel Embid.
admit fault to what they did.
Okay, that's good that you bring that up.
Yeah.
What if you thought clearly that there was a concerted effort from the referees to rig the game?
Oh yeah, but like we just both agreed, or all three of us agreed, he could have injured a player though.
I understand, but in that mindset, would you have done something as reckless as that?
Not on the bench. I would have done it while I was on the court.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wouldn't have done it either way, but I mean, doing it from the bench is wild,
You
man.
know my feelings towards this. You got an issue, be a man and deal with it right there on the spot.
But dealing
Don't
it,
wait till you're hiding behind your crew or in your security guards and
but the thing is, being from
like, come on,
where you can't see it, that's the dangerous fact. You're right. Like, I mean, I wouldn't do it on the court or off the court, but doing it off the court that's very dangerous, especially if you can't expect the fans.
Yeah.
Boston will start throwing bottles at you if you let them.
Bro, imagine
I mean,
Pistons.
Yeah, there you go. Detroit,
Bro,
baby.
malice in the garden.
The Palace.
It's a palace.
I love
Rhymes,
it.
bro.
Malice in
Malice in the garden.
malice.
So
I like it.
personally, I thought it was, reckless, of course. But at first, I gave him the excuse. I thought, maybe he was just frustrated and just threw something down. And because the floors are so slippery, maybe it slid onto the court by accident. But when I watched the second angle, he was
missed
like,
everything.
so when I watched the second angle, he wasn't even like on the main part of the bench. He was
No,
all
he
the way at
launched
the
it.
back near
Yeah.
the tunnel. He threw one item and then he's still pissed off. He grabbed another item and threw it. So the intent is there. There's no call. Like you can't. It's
inexcusable.
inexcusable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. I think he was lucky to get away with just a fine.
Oh, you would be in cheering.
Draymond made a good point about this.
What Drummond say?
He was
Is it-
saying that I don't understand why everyone's calling for a suspension. I mean, it's clear as day why he should have been suspended.
Who was saying that?
Draymond. He
I was
said
hearing
this.
Draymond said, if I was doing this, I'd be gone. I'd be this and I'd be that and I'd be
Yeah,
that.
but
Like,
he's got history.
yeah, but that's a fact.
Yeah.
If he did it once, that'd be it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there should have
I
been a
agree.
penalty. Look, I think in the playoffs, I think it does need to be revised about the suspensions.
No,
Maybe no. I'll give you my thoughts. Now I haven't thought it completely through, but maybe there's other penalties that they can give them that are
Community
game
service.
related. So maybe it can be like hockey, a sin bin or something like this. Where they're out for a
Oh.
period of time.
What about like soccer, where you're 10 points minus, start the game?
I think when you start mucking around with the points, the
betting.
gambling places are going to
Yeah,
have problems. Yeah, but I think something simple would be like a sin bin type scenario where they, depending on the severity of it, it's 5 minutes. On the bench they can't come in or whatever the case may be.
I'll give you an idea that's more severe than a sin bin. You deduct the timeout from the team.
Yeah, look,
But that could also injure players.
No, but that's-
The health of players.
that's novel. That's a novel idea. This is what I'm saying. Other than
Or deduct
suspensions in the playoffs,
get rid of the team loses their challenge. Then.
Or that player only gets 4 fouls a game.
Yeah,
yeah.
That single player.
Yeah.
Look,
Because-
I think all of these are designed. Look, these ideas are all great because what they're designed. No, I'll tell you why. Because
Sorry, I was laughing at something in my head.
because they're designed to keep the players, the superstars that everyone wants to see in the playoffs. We're not trying to, have them not play. We want to see them play.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
look
think
what happened
having
with the
something like
Warriors
this-
and Draymond Green. They handed the chip over to LeBron James.
I wasn't. Look, I wouldn't have said.
You would have said what?
Sorry, it's not usually me.
You would have
That's
said
just
what?
me. I wouldn't have said that championship was handed to LeBron James. I would say it was made easier by that.
Oh yeah,
But bro,
a lot easier.
that was a hard. Like, you got to admit, that series was one of the best series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Helped
I thought it
by-
was
And that's
good.
the only one series in my life where I was going for LeBron James because I
Okay.
hated Golden
And this
State.
is why I don't understand. Like, he got suspended because he had
Yeah.
10-minute tech fouls.
I agree.
And Jamal Murray throws something an officiating official.
That's why I'm saying
Like,
it has
does
to
it-
change. It has
Where's
to
the
change.
consistency?
It has to change where we keep the players on the court and we look at different types of punishments. Now, I don't think a fine is enough. I think some of these ideas, look, if they brainstorm it, they've got this committee now. They really need
100%.
to revisit it. Just a
Agreed.
couple of things from that series. So, Anthony Edwards, he has been an absolute star
The boss
this playoffs.
sticking out
So
his
a couple
chest.
of things that I noticed from so a couple of press conferences or presses that he did. So he's always team first or team first minded. Some of the things that he said, he gave a shout out to Jaden McDaniels. Probably had 5 points, took 3 shots, and in all 2 games, and don't complain. We thank him so much.
Yeah, that was nice.
Another thing,
It's how you hype up your
Good
team.
leadership.
another thing that he
100%.
said, I want to build a profile here.
100%.
Another thing he said, if I do something nice, I got to let it be known. So he's really passionate on the court, and we've seen it from multiple things. Then you see him engaging with the crowd and really getting into the crowd. So he's taking it personal with the Denver crowd and really getting involved. And other players have been standouts on the Timberwolves as well. I mean, the Naz Reid held the Nuggets to, sorry, who was it? I think it was
Alexander or what's it?
Yeah, I'll get to Nickeil Alexander
Yeah.
Walker, but Naz Reid had Murray 0 of 11 at one stage. He
They
had
figured out how to play defense in this era.
Yeah, he had 16 points in the fourth quarter, 14 of them in the fourth quarter. Like,
Yeah, he just started dropping trays.
absolutely
Like, that was
crazy, absolutely
such
crazy.
a strange style, man.
And this is all off the back of something that we've almost lost in the game, defense.
Mm-hmm.
This is all off the back of a concerted effort on defense. Do you think moving forward that we're going to see a shift in the NBA as we're seeing success with teams that are defensive focused? I'll start with Yoz.
Look, I always say, come playoff times, it's different basketball. We know what to expect on playoffs. The defense is on showcase. They let the game be a bit more rougher. They let it, get good. It's more entertaining. It's not like that regular season fall off where you just fall asleep, like what we were doing for how long. I think Silva has come up with something that he's implementing next season to ensure that defense stands out and continues to stand out. So I do think we're going to see a massive shift in physicality in the game. But it's just what are we going to see? Because I can't base it off the playoffs. The playoffs is the playoffs. This is how it always is. It's always very physical, very defensive minded.
Having said that, the Timberwolves have had the best defensive rating of any team for the regular season as well. So that's carrying over.
Yeah, it's because I got the multiple defensive player of the other team. A guy who's 8 foot tall with 9 foot arms. Like, bro, try to get around the rim. A great rebounding team. You've got Cat. You've got Cat and Rudy. Like, Cat and Rudy together, it's unfair. It's like a cheat code. Like, that's how it should be translated. Like, seeing the game, it should be like a cheat code. Occasionally, Rudy or Cat doesn't perform, but on paper, like, bro, of course they're going to be a defensive-minded team. It was just who's going to be the offense, because all season, Edwards, and this is what I've said before, he was very inconsistent. It was second end of the season or after the All-Star break, all of a sudden, Edwards is like, nah, Cat had to go. I had to take the lead. That's where he had his coming out party, because we all knew he was a stud, but he's never consistent to be able to carry the team in scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But wow,
Moz, with a focus this year on offense with the NBA, do you think that they missed the mark because having this focus on offense was the understanding was that that's what the fans wanted to see. They wanted to, the idea was that they wanted to see more scoring, more of that, that explosive firepower that's always on display. Do you think that the NBA missed the mark and the defense was actually the more exciting part of the NBA, and that they should have focused on that. And do you think that that will translate into next season, this learning?
So I've got 2 points on this take. I'll start off with the first take, first point of this take, which is the highlights in particular shown. I'll give you an example. The top 10, all of it's all offense. We haven't seen a good defensive highlight in the top 10 for a long
Since
time.
when we've stopped, since the
For a
season stopped.
long time. So that factors into the league. Also, to add on to that is the YouTubers. So this is going to be a weird take for you guys, but I watch a lot of YouTube pickup games in the States.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Adam Silver or their PR team or whatever, they look at that because they do a lot of YouTube comps now.
And collaborations as well.
Yeah, even on NBA courts now. So it's getting very big. They've got a
Creator League, yeah?
Yeah, they've got a really big fan base, even to a point where one of them's, I forgot what his name is.
Figure?
Not Figure. Anyways, whatever his name is. He plays in the Big Three now.
Oh, yeah. Hezigod.
Hezigod. Yeah, so that whole side of the basketball scene is very offensively dominated.
Yeah. You see that YouTube basketball, there's no defense, bro.
There's no defense. So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong with you guys, I'm assuming the NBA PR has taken a page out of the YouTube algorithm, whatever you want to call it, and said, well, if this is working outside the NBA and we have a better PR team, I'm sure we can triple the eyes of the fan base on our offense. Because this is professional league.
Well, what
you get what I mean?
Yeah, what you said is that whole we're done with the 90s and 80s thing. It proves that point. Like, if the league was missing the mark, as you say, right?
Yeah.
Just look at those fans of today, how they would be looking at a game that has defense forcing all these bad shots and all these missing. All of a sudden, they'd be like, what the hell? These guys are trash.
Yeah.
You've been conditioned to believe that the ball just goes into the basket anytime any of these boys touch it. With good defense, people miss shots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you would get...
And you see it, like I said, you see it from outside the NBA. This is... And, I mean, I don't think it's outside of America. It's just specifically America.
We would love
correct?
it. Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if Australia was doing pickup game vlogs, you'd see defense
and roughness.
You get what I mean?
You get all the footy players up.
It would be, to put it to our US audience out there, it would be like the old school Bronx pickup games back in the day on what's that?
Rucker Park and that.
Yes.
Street ball.
See,
Where
your players would get knocked upside the head.
So, for example, there was a one movie, I can't remember the movie now, it was a basketball movie, where you got kicked off the court if you ever called a foul.
That's foul, yeah.
Yours wouldn't last a second.
I played foul 21 when I was living in the States all the time.
For example...
But you have to have that before the game.
Yeah.
You can't go into a game with fouls and take people's legs out.
There was a guy on the movie where he kept just elbowing this guy, smashing
foul
him.
21.
And he's like, you call foul? Not.
What was the movie?
I can't remember the movie, bro. But that's what Australian pickup balls like, man. Like, you get knocked on your ass, you're like,
you wouldn't have all those high-flying
bitch, get up.
Offense calls the foul.
But even that Creator League, all that offense are fouls.
Yeah.
None of them are step back and breaking ankles. No. Every single one of them, even Professor sometimes, it's they go forward, they push you they're forward. They don't push you like that.
They travel.
They push you forward and step back. Yeah. And it's clearly offensive fouls.
You agree with my take?
110%.
I don't know if you're into it, but
look,
I know it diverted
but
around.
People like us would be getting G'd up to see defense. And there's a lot of fans like that too.
International fans.
Yeah, there you go.
So where I see it, I think there's going to be a big focus on defense where teams will actually start restructuring their coaching staff because they have defensive coaches.
And offensive. Yeah.
But I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a shift where there's going to be a bigger emphasis on defensive players because they're very athletic players.
Oh, yeah.
But they're being underutilized, and they have been for a long time where they're so used to
Stuck in the role.
moving freely in offense that they don't really think about defense at all because they just think, look, if I get those numbers, offense, the best defense, you know that old saying, the best defense is
good offense, great offense, yeah.
And yeah, like to your points, you know, in
Says
Australia,
every guard.
in Australia, we have a different kind of focus. I think there is slight changes that are happening in the grassroots level now. I see it when I referee games. There is a lot more offensive-minded strategies. But overall, yeah, Australians at grassroots level, we tend to focus a lot more on defensive strategies and our points typically for games are not really high points compared to the NBA, even the NBL. You know, it's not common to see games go 100 plus. You know,
they play
frequently.
defense.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the
That's why Lamella got injured in NBL.
The game is a little
injured
bit,
everywhere.
The game is a little bit shorter, you know, to their credit. But yeah, we are defensively minded. But I think there will be a shift next season. I think it will start to become more highlighted.
You think it'll be like the NFL? Where they'll hire a coach for both
different teams? No.
I mean like a defensive coach and an offensive coach.
They already do.
No, I mean like strictly like every time there's
separately. Maybe in training, but I think you need to have one voice on the floor. Like
too many chefs.
I had a big criticism with Brian Goorjian. This is a little bit off topic. When he was coaching the Boomers and he had his assistant coach, you know, running the huddle or running the timeouts. To me, that's disrespectful. This is my job. You tell me what you want to say and I'll decide whether I want to say it to the team or not. You have one voice on the team. None of this rubbish. One voice on the court and one voice in timeouts.
That's why Lakers are home right now.
So yeah, I don't think it'll get to that stage, but I think there will be more focus and I think they'll start to have players that are more versatile. And I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a much more versatile athlete, all-round athlete on the court.
So pretty much just saying basketball players are going to start becoming two-way players again.
Yeah, they'll buy in. They'll buy into both ends of the court because we're seeing them now becoming superstars or becoming stars.
Well, that's
we talk about Naz Reid. We talk about up and down the roster of Minnesota.
We were doing it before.
This is the thing. You couldn't play offense unless you played defense. There was a rule. If you're not playing defense, you don't get the ball. Like, and that was a rule that, like, remember all those, as kids, all those people cherry pick? You never give them the ball.
No, you don't give them the ball.
Sit down the court. Don't play no defense. You ain't getting the ball. And if you're not playing defense or running back in transition, you're benched. Coach would always do that. So, I mean, I don't understand where this new mindset comes in. And, well, we do. It's all from the States. Because it's their brand of basketball.
That's why I wanted to bring in that point of the YouTubers. Yeah. But just to quickly add to the point of the NBA shifting, just last point. My thought process with that is if they do shift to a proper defensive played league, then there's going to be a really, really big push from the players again to reduce the schedule of their season.
70 games
and
no
I
back-to-backs.
think the owners are going to get worried. It's going to be a pushback. The broadcast deal, like there's so many avenues where it's going to hurt the NBA. And I think it was a better avenue for them to go offensively because there's less injuries. But, I mean, they're still getting injuries. But if they do go defensively, I think they're worried there's going to be a lot more injuries.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Do you remember when sorry, but we were speaking about the defensive change, how they did it sneakily near the end of the season?
Oh yeah, but they did release the rules. They just there's been rule changes
about the shooting,
Are you talking
about coming off the screen. Yeah, about coming off the screens and the continuations. And we noticed there was a massive change of that, but they did it sort of on the low. Now, I can see it happening like this, slowly, year after year, things getting trickled out and tightened up a bit. But as Moz says, I reckon if you just blatantly put it all out there at once, these are all the changes we're making. There's going to be a lot of blowback, man. But
that's actually a really interesting point. I'll tell you why. Because I think the teams that figured that out quickly and adjusted are the teams that are successful in the playoffs now.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. I didn't even think of that correlation, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, because it's like Pavlova conditioning. You know what I mean, right?
Someone's hungry.
Pavlovian conditioning, where it's somebody does something so much that it becomes second nature to them. They don't even realize they're being trained. And if they're trickling it in like that, you're sort of conditioning them to play that way and be accustomed to that without them knowing.
Yeah. Moving on to Dallas and OKC. So we're staying in the West. We'll talk about the other series, Dallas and OKC. Currently, it's level 1-1. Dallas has stolen a game from OKC. This has been back and forth. So the first game, OKC continued their offensive output, 117. They defeated Dallas 95. And then Dallas came back 119 to 110, defeating OKC at home. The game 3 will be played in a few hours. Now, this series, how do you see it going? I mean, it's only had 2 games. Do you see OKC being stopped, or is this exactly what you thought it would be moving forward, Moz, with this series?
I think I picked Denver to win in 5.
Dallas?
Denver?
No,
Dallas.
Denver. Dallas, sorry. I think I picked Dallas to win in 6. I think it was win in 6.
You still think that after seeing the first 2 games?
Yeah, man. I really like the composure of the Dallas team. Their composure is, I think, they're key to winning this series. Coaching wise, I think Jason Kidd's on par with strategizing and being able to get the best from his players.
Well, they just extended his thing, didn't they? He signed up.
Yeah, he's very good. And in particular, he knew what he wanted. And I'll say this again: Dallas won that trade deadline scenario this year, hands down.
No doubt.
And that comes down to Jason Kidd telling the front office, "I need this, I need that, I need this and that." And we're gonna have a good run. And front office, man, good work to them. Like they listen to the coach. Not every front office listens to their coach, and they did exactly what he wanted. And Mark Cuban, he does it again, man. Like when you have a fan of the sport as an owner, you can see the franchise work.
See, I just imagine how.
So just to quickly mention, you had Mavs in 5.
In 5.
You had Mavs. You had OKC in 6. So
why Mavs in 5?
This is what you had. Oh, sorry. You had Mavs in 6. I had Mavs in 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I swapped the order around.
Yeah, Mavs because Mavs in 5 doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Is they gonna win it away? No. Don't win it at home.
Sorry, Oz, you were saying the front office you were talking about. That's fine. I wanted to ask you actually. I wanted to ask you. Injuries are starting to affect the Mavs. Not so much OKC. I don't think they've got any major injuries. Do you think this will be a factor in the series? Do you think this will be a big factor, or do you think Dallas still has the personnel to be able to go if they need to?
So no, I don't believe it's going to be a big factor for Dallas.
So Luka is playing on what's suspected to be a knee injury or a leg injury of some kind. We've got already Kleber is out. And well, I can't think of any. I think there was one other player. So you don't see this to be a factor? You think Mavs will be able to persevere?
No, because I picked OKC.
Oh.
I said I want Mavs to win. Like in my heart. Like I love Luka Doncic. I've always loved Kyrie Irving. And I said my emotional choice would be Mavs. I want to see them there. But I just said the age, the momentum, the length that OKC has behind them, and everybody being able to contribute. Like such a solid roster. Like everybody's, mate. What a lineup. I just don't see Dallas winning.
So Dallas stole a game
Yeah,
at
That's
OKC.
but
That's
again,
big.
And at their home, that's a massive thing because their crowd is next level.
is it though?
Yeah.
Like as a fan base, like
I've never seen Kyrie have an outburst like that in recent memory directed to the fans.
That's what I was going to bring up. I love that. That and he didn't do a LeBron move where he's like kick him out.
And then you had
They kept
also
tackling
in
with
the
him.
first game, I think, Luca had some interaction with one of the fans
saw
where
that.
he went to grab the ball quickly so he can speed
Oh,
up
and he
the
held
inbound.
it. Yeah, threw it to the ref.
And he threw it to the ref. So you could see the crowd is the 13th player, collectively, or 14th player, whatever.
Again, best fan base award.
Yeah.
Let's get it
I
done,
agree.
Adam Silver.
But see, like, yeah, I just don't see them persevering through OKC. I think they're too deep of a team. I do want Mavs to win, as I said, but I think Thunder is going to get this in 6, maybe 7, if Dallas is lucky.
Okay.
It's going to be a stretch series either way.
But I just want you to know, I want Luca and Kyrie there. I love their style of
How
basketball.
about that layup?
I ISO player. I love ISO game. Like, but when I watch OKC, it's like watching.
Did you guys
I
see
saw
this?
that get his teeth fixed. Huh?
So Luca took a dive. He got tripped up, and he ate hardwood, literally.
They kept playing.
Yeah,
Soldiered on.
straight to the dentist though.
That was a court kiss right
Yeah.
there.
You know what will happen? You'll do an insurance claim now and get some more money.
Well, speaking of insurance claims, have you
Complex.
guys seen what happened to Big Baby, Glenn Big Baby?
Yeah, he's arrested. 3.5
Davis.
years jail.
What?
Glenn Davis.
Davis, yeah?
Yeah, Big Baby.
Why?
Insurance fraud.
So apparently he was the head of a syndicate for
Syndicate.
that were trying to rot the there was a
I know,
lot of
but
who?
it's funny.
trying to rot the NBA's health
Insurance.
insurance. Yeah, I don't know how. I
Power
don't know
to
the
you, man.
details,
Good work.
but he took it on the chin. Which
3 years is nothing.
3.5 years. Yeah, it's nothing.
he took it on the chin.
But they would have got something out of that, yeah? Or they didn't get away with it. They didn't get anything.
Who?
I know they got arrested, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, did they actually get away with anything before the arresting part?
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course
know.
I did.
Ah, legend. Good work, Davis.
But he took it on the chin. He's like, I'm gonna have a lot of time to work on my muscles, and he goes,
He's made money.
I'm not gonna
He
have
did the job.
hamburgers, this and that.
Cash? No cash.
He probably wasn't asked to give the money back then. It
No,
was
like,
just
no cash.
jail.
So coming back to the Dallas OKC series, Kyrie was a non-factor almost. Oh, not a non-factor.
7 points, was it?
Non-factor in terms of his scoring output,
Mm.
but he had, I think, 6 or 7 assists for and a few rebounds, and I think he did help the team, but he wasn't, fourth quarter
It
Kyrie.
wasn't Ramadan Ray.
He wasn't fourth quarter Kyrie. He wasn't
Nah.
Ramadan Ree.
It wasn't.
He had 9 points. Just to tack on to this, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 11 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean,
He's the playmaker.
Yeah, but see, I don't even see that. 11
like
assists is
that.
not the playmaker.
I like that he shifted. He recognized that the shots weren't going in,
Yeah.
and he shifted. He
That's what great players do. They
Yeah, you
find
make
other
your
ways to
adjustment,
improve
100%.
he
impact
tried to
the
get
game.
to the line. This is what you want. And when you've got Luca, when you've got
Hand him the
lob
reins.
threats like Derrick Jones Jr.
PJ.
And PJ Washington had a massive game. He had
Mm.
29 points, so he was able to pick up the slack. I think this works wonders for them moving forward. I think it makes them more versatile, more flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think they've figured something out. And moving forward, I think this is going to shift the series. They've already stolen one at OKC. OKC looked unstoppable before this.
Mhm.
Gafford's out, isn't he?
No,
No.
he's
He's in.
He
I
played.
thought
13 points.
I
7
thought they were going to
rebounds.
sit him because I know he went out at like halftime or something, didn't he?
Jason Kidd's like, get back out there.
Yeah, but he went down. He
So
they
that was probably
evaluated
the other one that I thought of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he only played 26 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he went down like they evaluated him. But I was just wondering,
Yeah.
are they going to sit him next game?
No, don't have
Like,
enough.
is it something
enough of
that
a
they-
break.
I don't know. But the two that I want to see step up. So Tim Hardaway Jr. made his return.
They killed it.
About time.
17 points. I mean, good effort. But the two that I think that need to step up
Lively.
for not Lively, Josh Green and Dante Exum.
The
They
two
need to-
Aussies.
They need to make differences, those intangibles, okay, to take the Mavs to the next level.
Mm.
And I think there's enough time for them to do that. I think they can continue to. So you can see Jason Kidd's trying to engage or incorporate Dante Exum into the system. Today it didn't work out, so he benched him. You know, you could see he only had 6 minutes. But in other games, he's actually relied on him for those intangibles, bringing the ball up, making those quick
Giving Luka a
decisions,
rest.
pushing the pace and things like this. And yeah, giving Luka a rest, giving Kyrie, a good
He's
run.
got to recognize the rhythm when he's in rhythm.
And Josh Green, I mean, he's had a really good regular season. I'd like to see that translate into playoffs. I still haven't seen a breakout game for him, and I think it's due. So yeah, with all that, I think the Mavs they're in a prime position now. It's just about health. It's just about health. If Luka goes down, I don't know if they've got enough to push them to the next round or past the Western Conference Finals. But I think they'll definitely go through OKC. Stealing one game's massive. It's massive. I think we're underselling that.
Pretty
So
much.
just what?
If Josh Giddey comes to the party and he at least gives you 10 points and 6 assists, there'll be no problem. OKC will walk through this series.
It's interesting you said that. So shout out to all the Aussies that are in the playoffs, man.
Oi, oi, oi.
Get ready for the Olympics.
So just on that point, the same thing happened with so Dante Exum got benched, and so did Josh Giddey in this game. So he didn't have as many minutes.
Because
this
it's
game.
trash.
His output was better in the first game, but this game, yeah, it just wasn't.
Nowhere.
Yeah,
But that's my talk when we're talking about Giddey. Put him on another team.
he was a -20.
Yeah, he's not going to flourish. He can't flourish it. You've got
-20.
too many good
There's too many
players
guards
there.
on that
Yeah,
team.
they're
Too many
good
guards.
players.
On a team that's
Bro.
full of dogs.
And he's meant to be,
-20.
and they were talking about him, rookie of the year.
Aaron Wiggins
All-star
has taken
caliber.
his spot. In my
Was-
opinion, Aaron Wiggins has taken his spot.
Oh, I love that Williams guy, bro.
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, man. I love his
So
style
let's
of
move to
basketball.
the East.
The East Side,
The Boston Cavs series.
Boston.
Boston, well, actually, it's currently tied. So Boston won the first game, 120-95. Now, it should be noted that Cavs were coming off a 7-game series that they just won.
To your disgust.
No, I picked them.
No, I'm talking about as in beating Boston. To your disgust.
No, Boston beat the Cavs.
You had them
as in
sweeping.
No, I'm saying to. Don't worry. I'm saying
So
because
the
you said
first
the other
game-
day, you're like, absolutely. And I was like, yeah, to your disgust.
Okay, so the first game, Boston won 120-95. The second game, Cavs
Cavs won.
beat Boston 118-94. You're talking about the second
To
game.
your disgust. Yeah.
Second game.
Yeah.
So the first game, 120. Second game, 118-94. Boston loses at home. This, to me, was, a big statement from Cavs. I actually didn't see it happening, not to this extent. It was so bad that the Boston fans started leaving, I think, into the third quarter or the start of the fourth quarter. It was absolutely horrendous.
Worst fan base.
Jason Tatum has been a non-factor in my opinion. We spoke about it last episode where you said he has to have big games, and I agreed with you. I said he will turn up. So far, he's been a non-factor. Jaylen Brown, to his credit, has been
I think I said, yeah, he has to have like 30, 10,
30,
and 6.
yeah, and I said he'll have over.
Yeah, and I
and
said
he
there's
hasn't
no
even
ch-
been close to that.
I think I said Jaylen Brown is going to be the guy or like because there's no
Derek
Porzingis,
White
he
has
comes.
been, keeping them afloat. Derek
Thank
White
God.
doesn't look like he is missing.
Thank God for Derek White cards,
Derek White, oh,
rookie
bro,
cards
bro,
with
yeah.
autos.
So with this
Ooh,
series,
cha-ching.
I haven't seen too much controversy around the officiating or anything like that. I think it all comes down to shooting. I don't think. I think the team that has, because Boston likes to get a lot of 3-pointers up.
Yeah.
I think the team that can get some consistency and flow with the offense is going to have a big shift. Do you agree? Do you have any thoughts on this Cavs team, Moz? I always call you Yoz. Do you have any thoughts on the Cavs team? Do you think that they've got enough to get them through? I don't know what your pick was.
No,
but
my pick was Boston, but I think it was 7.
yeah, so you had.
Didn't you have a sweep?
You had
No, he
Boston
had
in
the
7.
sweep.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
the
the
sweep.
sweep.
You had Boston in 7.
Yeah. And the reason for that was because KP's not there.
Yeah, and we're like, did you see them play without KP?
That's what
and
we're
then, and then the first,
yeah.
and then he messages
Yeah.
after that game too.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? Like, I was getting a message. Do you see him play without KP?
But they didn't play with KP in the first
Yeah.
game. But having said that, like I said, the Cavs were, battered and bruised after the 7-game
Yeah,
series.
and Boston had a big rest.
So do you see Cavs making a bit of a run or a bit of a go with this? You said 7 games. Do you still think that will happen?
I still got them 7 games. And I think they'll push for KP come towards the end of this series, come back. If they do that, this is where I see Boston beating them in 7. Because once they get KP back, mate, Boston's hard to beat. Very hard to beat. Like that guy, talk about
Playing at that high post slot, just hanging around
Just-
there, bro.
amazing for that team. But the fact that these idiots didn't think to have a backup center on their team, like, why?
Well, they've done it for years with Al Horford, knocking down those
He's not
baseline.
a
I know.
center,
I'm
bro.
saying he can stretch and knock down those baseline threes. Like he's proven it year after year. Even from college, he's always been a good player, good player.
You need someone to get those rebounds, and
But
this
yeah,
is where
he's-
Cavs smash you. I guarantee you, if you look at the game 2 stats,
Well,
the Cavs won the boards on that game.
there's no
Hands
Jared
down.
Allen, yeah.
Evan Mobley plays. He plays a center.
Game 1, he had horrible rebounds. I think game 2, I think.
If you have a look, the totals for rebounds from the Cavs would have smashed Boston's rebounds, if I'm to be corrected.
Yeah, so they had 44 rebounds to 31. No, that can't be right.
No, that's only one quarter.
No.
Can't be for the whole game.
Yeah, 31 rebounds to 44 rebounds.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's without Jared Allen.
That's about Jaron Allen. So
Is there game 1 there?
Yeah.
Can you see the disparity with rebounds there?
Is this game 2 again?
no, it's game 1.
That's game 1.
31 to the Cavs.
38 to 55.
Yeah. So there
Who
you
was
go.
55?
Celtics.
Boston.
100%. And that's, I think, and that's the game I said Mobley.
Yeah, who got the rebounds?
He had 3 points, I think, that game. or
Key
something.
key notes for rebounds off game 1 was Jason Tatum with 11 and Luke Cornett with 10.
Yeah, but Luke Cornett missed at the ring a few times.
No,
So
no,
those putback rebounds. Yeah.
but we're talking clearly who's winning off the glass.
Yeah.
And this series is going to be
Yeah.
whoever wins
Second
off the
chance
glass
points. Check chance points, yeah.
wins the game.
Yeah, so Drew Holiday has been, Drew Holiday and Tatum have
0 steals. You can't win the game.
Yeah, they've been kind of quiet this series. We'll look forward to seeing more output from them.
Bucks should never go rid of him. Never.
They stop, man. And that's why Boston won that GM award.
So yours, do you see
Drew Holiday was a steal.
this? What do you think of the coaching of in this series? So you've got Mazzulla, who's I think 2nd year or 2.5 years because he took over from that whole incident with
Yeah.
the previous coach. But is it JB Bickerstaff? I think, is he the coach for the Cavs? Or
Oh, I can't say his name, man.
yeah. So do you see? It doesn't look like it's even in terms of experience and talent.
Boston's got a very young coach. He's got the third youngest coach in the league or something like that, isn't he?
He's got a
One
lot
of the
to prove.
youngest.
Yeah.
Do you think this will be a factor in this series?
I think yeah, I do, because Boston, I've said it all year, and last year and the year before, they're mentally weak. Tatum is mentally weak. Jalen, he pretty much shits the bed like when you need him to be there. Without Porzingis, I don't see the adjustments I don't see what they can do, because I actually honestly believe if Jared Allen comes back,
Done.
I was for Cavs. I thought they've had a great season. They overperformed. I didn't expect them to be where they were. Yeah, I just don't see Boston winning, even with adjustments. I mean, unless you've got Porzingis on the court, I don't see them taking the series. So coaching aside, yeah, 100% experience is going to come down to it. Battle of the wits.
All right, moving on to the last series in the East. This one is probably one of the most exciting for many reasons. A lot of fireworks. Every time the Knicks hit the court, there's always something interesting. So there's been 3 games played. The first game, the Knicks win it 121-117.
All close.
And the second game, the Knicks also win 130-121.
Hold home.
And then the third game at Indiana was another close one, 106-111. The Pacers actually win that one and send the series into a 2-1 outcome. Now, every single Knicks game has been probably won or lost in the fourth quarter since the playoffs have started this season. Do you think that the Knicks will eventually be able to control the game from the beginning and to have a nice cruisy, the other team throwing in the white towel type of win?
No, they're a gritty team, and the gritness comes from their coach, Tibbs. That's his coaching style. He loves that gritty, nasty, throw your body on the floor for every loose ball. I'm going to run you to the ground and give you 60 minutes a game. But this coach is crazy. But he's lost the plot. He reminds me of the coach from Blue Chips, bro. He's mental, bro. There's something going on. NBA needs to do intervention here. There's never been this many minutes played for players.
So
in the playoffs, man.
Nuts.
On that point, as you know, Josh Hart has pretty much played every minute of every game up until today's game. He finally had a rest for 6 minutes.
The guy had, almost 20 rebounds, and he's almost my height. What a machine.
Bro, I would love that.
What a machine.
So what do you think of the sticking on the minutes point?
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a big factor? I mean, you brought it up. Josh Hart has racked in the most minutes, or I think he must have broken some record. He played 48 minutes. I think he played more than 48 minutes in a few of the games because of the overtime.
I'm going to bring in a weird analogy here. I don't know if you get it or not, but hopefully you do. So the analogy with the minutes played for the players will be as if you're holding third gear in a drag race. The longer you hold it, the more you're going to get out of it. And you'll creep over the line.
And if you red line and blow a gasket?
This is Tibbs. This is how it does.
So on the point of the rebounds...
I'm going to give him the nickname Tibbs the Honda Civic because he red lines every game.
that VTEC energy.
That VTEC kicks in the fourth quarter.
So on that point of rebounds, Josh Hart has the second most rebounds in the rebounds in the
He's
playoffs.
a machine, bro.
So he's 87 and he's listed
not
at
just the rebounds, man. This guy.
You
know what? Shout out to Salah because Salah plays this style of play where he sees the ball and he's just just runs to get every single ball. He
climbs over people's backs.
It's like this guy's an AFL player at one stage, man. He's fighting for rebounds against his own center at one stage.
So yours,
I love that.
I wanted to speak about this record from Brunson. I think this will be interesting for you to get your take from this. So Jalen Brunson had 4 games with 40 or more consecutive points, tying with Michael Jordan and Bernard King.
Wow.
Big King, man.
Wow.
What do you think of this record? And there was a press conference with Jalen Brunson being asked about this and bringing up the whole Michael Jordan comparison, and he brushed it away like, no, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, he doesn't want that curse.
No.
He's a New Yorker.
What do you think of this? Give me your thoughts on the record and
Nothing.
where you see Jalen Brunson moving forward.
Look, the record's nothing. Like, I hate all these records. I hate these nonsense records. Like, Jalen Brunson scored 40 points before this date. Like, who cares if Michael Jordan did it 4 times? You've done it 4 times. Appreciate the achievement and what it is. You've continuously during the playoffs been dropping when you need it the most. It's not about how much you're dropping. It's about you're willing your team to win. That's what should be looked at. Like, you're a scorer. I mean, how many shots did you take last game?
I'll have to check that.
He's taken a bulk of their shots. So, I mean, to be honest, in this day and age, to be honest with the amount you're shooting, you should be scoring 40. That's only 20, not even 20 baskets a game, because a lot of your shots are threes. You get free throws, like,
bro.
And remember, take into consideration, you will look at that shooting percentage and attempts, and it's not true, because when you're fouled and you miss your shot, none of them are counted as an attempt on shot.
Yeah.
So then check all his free throws and see how many shots he'll have on really in a game. You should be scoring that.
Yeah, I'd 7 to.
And you're the dude. It's not like you got Randall there to take some of that.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm not knocking this down, this achievement. It's an achievement. But it should be more about, like, this is expected of you because you're the leader of the team now. It's the same thing that's expected of Shai when he was one of only how many players to have over, was it 40 points or 30-point games that won?
Shai.
They were 30s. It was like
no,
50 straight.
Consecutive 30-plus point games.
Yeah. So it's similar to that. Like, for me, yeah, that's crazy. Cool. Cool fact. But to me, it doesn't mean anything. What means something is you getting the result.
But the way that he's doing it, like you said, he's doing it when it counts.
And baiting.
He's doing it when it counts.
Yeah, 100%.
Fourth quarter is where he's getting most of his points, third and fourth quarter. He's almost quiet in the first half.
Sometimes. There's been games where he's been like...
so the last game was the exception.
You can tell it's one of them games.
The last game was the exception. So he's shooting 26 field goal attempts.
That's recorded field goal attempts.
Yeah. In the past 3 games, I think it's been on average 26 field goals. Yeah.
And how many free throws?
Field goals attempts. But the difference was the last game, his percentage was down. So either Indiana found a way to bother him on his shot, and I think they did. They ran a different defensive strategy on him. I think they tried to get it out of his hands a lot quicker. Or he's just fatigued. He's also facing a few injuries. He's rolled his ankle.
I saw that.
Heavily strapped every game. No, did he? And and the good thing that I saw from this game, actually, the last game, and I want to get your thought on this, was his Villanova brothers stepped in to try to fill in that gap. Moz, what do you think of the Villanova connection? Do you think this is I don't remember in previous history where we've seen something like this, where the big three have played together in the grassroots, and
we have the Fab Four.
Okay, yeah, but
you remember
they
Fab
win a
Four?
chip? They didn't win a chip.
No, man, but they came really close, man.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they came. You remember Fab Four?
So, do you think this is something that other teams should look into to try to find these players?
If you have a team chemistry, if you can get a jump start on team chemistry, and do not have to worry about a gelling period, i.e., what Mavs had to go through with Luka and Kyrie, and what Bucks has gone through with Giannis and Lillard, mate, you've already got a head start on the teams in your conference. So, hell yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? And this is exactly why Zion, excuse me, was pushing really hard to play with his Duke teammates.
Yeah, at one stage I thought RJ and Zion would see each other. You know, there was talks of him going to New York, and ended up being Cam Reddish and RJ played together, but they were a non-factor. So actually, that kind of speaks against having teammates.
No, well, there was only two of them. You need more than two.
Yoz, just this last game, actually, this was the first time that we saw Tibbs in this playoff go deep into the bench.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to be a factor moving forward? Do you think Tibbs is finally going to have to shift and stop playing?
No, he's 100%. Niggling injuries, as I said, everyone's injured in the playoffs. I mean, now you're at the second round. I mean, you saw the other day with Brunson, and you just think he's going to have to limit his workload, especially if you're going to like. I believe it's not an issue. I believe getting through paces is not a thing. It's not, as I've said many times. Tyrese Haliburton, unless you're going to do that every night.
So far he is.
He's done it 2 nights. In the past, 12 games, he hasn't broken 20 more than twice. I mean, and I know you can say, okay, he's got 11 assists or 12. But, mate, we're in the NBA now where 12 assists isn't necessarily anything special. It's a lot of dribble handoffs. And if you're not scoring, you're not really affecting the game with your 12 assists.
He needs more aggressive.
Yeah, I want to see Tyrese Haliburton, what he's doing, what he did like the past 2 games. Great, that's what I said he needed to do. But when he did it the other day, then where does the rest of the scoring come from, or the playmaking come from? Because nobody else pulled their weight.
No one else.
So he performed and they lost. I mean,
well, they proved they can win when he's aggressive. And
but
they did it in the play-in. They played not the play-in. What was that in-season tournament? When he was aggressive,
about the play-in too.
When he was aggressive, you saw how the team played. They proved they can win.
I mean,
that's others stepping up.
But brother, just the fact that the whole game, and this is what I was saying to you when you said, "Oh, look at him. How about your take?" The whole game, the commentators, all they were talking about is, "Oh my god, he's got like 12 points. It's not even second quarter yet." It's like, okay. This is the whole game. If he can continue scoring like this, if he's not making his shots, but he's scoring, like, so he was going through some struggles. But just the fact that that's the narrative, like, it's clear. That's what you need to be doing. You're the point. Sometimes you make the right, you have to always make the right play. Either it's a pass or you're attempting a shot. You're a great shooter. I think he is a great shooter and he can get to the basket.
So let me throw this stat at you. So when the Indiana Pacers this season have scored under 120 points, they're 0-3. When they've scored over 120 or 120 and over, they're 4-0.
But they scored 120 and lost. Oh, you mean you're talking about just in playoffs?
So this is the stat that I've got here. So
I read it?
Yeah, just 20 in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, in the playoffs.
It's just in the playoffs.
So 0-3 when they score under 120 and 4-0 when they score 120 and over.
Yeah, well, there you go. They need to score.
So with Tyrese pushing the pace and running this type of offense, it works in their favor. But unfortunately, we're seeing Knicks nix that with their defense and
I wanted to make a point on that when
crashing the boards is a big thing.
So I wanted to make a point on when Tyrese is pushing that pace. The one person that's struggling with that pace is Siakam. He can't keep up with that pace.
Last game, 100%.
And there was a play where I saw they wanted to do a play for Siakam. That whole game pace
slows down,
slowed completely down, and they didn't get a bucket from it. So, like I was saying, with my take earlier,
it's when you force something.
My take with that earlier was they needed to find that medium where they can shift those gears between Tyrese and
Controlling the pace
Siakam.
and understanding the momentum and
No. Back to your chemistry point.
Yeah, the
where
chemistry
They need to
between-
be able to.
they should be able to
blend
be
their
on the
games.
fly,
Yeah.
going bang, 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 without thinking about it and making it look very obvious.
Australia in their first season.
Yeah, there's not even a
No,
whole
I'm saying.
season.
I'm saying. No, I'm asking you. Saying they should have that already, or they. Need,
No,
that's
this
what they
is
need to work
this
on?
is the medium.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
And we're seeing what's happening.
So I want to talk about the first two games, the controversy with the calls. So Rick Carlisle got ejected from one of those games, and the Indiana Pacers actually filed a complaint with the league office or with the NBA referees. They had 78 calls that they felt were incorrectly called, and they filed a complaint with the office. They've submitted the complaint for games 1 and 2. What do you think of this? I
already have a take on this. You guys already know my take.
I get the coaches want to own their keep, I guess, but filing complaints in the playoffs about referees when up and down the series we've had issues with referees, tight games. Every Knicks game has been tight towards the end. Are we seeing like a shift in this type of narrative where if you feel like you've been hard done by the referees and you put a complaint in, and what are we doing? Like, is there even a
it's
difference?
the time we live in. We're living in a land of marshmallows now. You know that. Like,
Is there even a
everybody
difference
needs to be
with
wrapped
filing
up in
these
plastic
complaints?
wrap and look. Shut up. That's my take. Shut up. 70 freaking calls. 76 calls. I understand you saying 5. There was 5 major calls. You know that we thought 76 or 70. Isn't it a bit much? Like, shut up, Murad. All yours. Just shut up. Shut up and dribble, bro. Play the game. Get your
Listen,
boys on the court. G them up. Stop blaming the refs and blame your own players.
It's probably legit. There's complaints, but
Of course.
I don't know if you guys remember what I said.
Shut up.
After game 2, said I think the NBA is pushing for Boston versus Knicks conference finals, and it makes sense. Why wouldn't you? That's going to be your money maker.
Moneymaker, yeah, 100%.
No one wants to see the Pacers. I mean.
No one wants to see.
But
no
having
one wants to
said
see-
that,
It's not that,
they have been
it's-
exciting with
it's
their
gonna
brand
be
of
more
basketball.
yeah,
exciting.
no, 100%. It's like
They bring a new wave
They're
of
like
fans.
the anti-Minnesota. It's crazy because you've got these two really exciting, polarizing teams
Mhm.
for two different
They're a
reasons.
new era team.
Yeah.
New era team. They're the offensive-minded team, and then you got your old school 90s defensive team. And
Then you've got
I
OKC,
would love to see
which
that
is
in
the
the grand
blend of
finals.
both.
I honestly would love to see that in grand finals, but
I'd like to say Minnesota and OKC only because of the age,
that's going to
and
be
it's
awesome.
like
as
the
well.
new faces.
But
Everybody else gone.
yeah, I think NBA is going to be pushing for Knicks versus Boston in the conference finals.
The conference, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it should be that. Like, look at
But
the teams.
imagine,
it should be
imagine
Boston.
the atmosphere on each home ground. Like, wow.
Yeah, 100%.
Look, if we're talking about numbers, there
That's the
hasn't
mellow,
been a series so far that hasn't been dominated by when the Knicks are playing. That hasn't been dominated by Knicks fans. It doesn't matter where they go.
Mm.
You know, in the previous season when they went,
It's not going to happen against Boston. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know.
No,
I don't
no.
know, man.
The sea of
No,
green, bro.
I'll
Sea
tell
of
you, the
green.
leprechauns are coming out.
Yeah, no one wants to be in that garden.
But yeah, so far there's a buzz.
Bro.
There's a buzz on the East Coast for the Knicks.
It touched me, Lucky James.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Knicks, so Jalen Brunson has
It's a crazy
surpassed
stat.
your boy
The crazy stat.
Carmelo Anthony
But
for playoff
and
points.
like he said, this
100%.
is a stupid stat.
Yeah, and it's a different era.
I was just about to say it's
Amount of
more
shots
three.
taken.
So
The amount of
this-
fouls he'd get compared to Carmelo Anthony.
Come on, man.
So
Really?
stop trying to cover it and let me say it.
Oh, okay.
I know he's your boy and all.
It's not. It's just a stupid stat. Man.
It is.
So Carmelo Anthony had 589 playoff points, and Jalen Brunson has just surpassed that with 591.
Can I ask how many minutes Carmelo Anthony played to get those points. I guarantee it was less than that.
Look, Jalen Brunson's real.
If
The
Melo
hype
played
is
those
real.
high minutes, he would have scored more too.
The hype is so real that this is being said by Brian Windhorst.
Bronze
Lynn's
sanity.
sanity was crazy. This is Brun's sanity.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
So-
That insanity is what destroyed Jeremy
Oh,
Lin, the
yeah.
poor guy.
So it's full on. This series is
He's in creator leagues now.
Yeah, he is.
who? Jeremy Lin.
Yeah.
No, he's in CBA, isn't he?
No, man.
He's playing for China or
Nah,
Taiwan.
he left the ages ago.
The last thing I wanted to make a point. We spoke about Josh Hart.
Last thing.
Oh,
We haven't
yeah.
even spoken about OG.
Oh, he's injured.
And you knew
He's been a key factor for this series.
Not anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Hamstring.
How can we not bring up OG?
So go on. Tell me about OG.
Like, come on, man. He's been a key factor for their defense.
Yes.
And I thought the media was going to make a big thing about OG versus Siakam.
I don't think anyone really is interested in a spicy P or anything to do with. I don't think anyone's interested in Indiana, bro.
It's the
like
reason
right now.
why Spicy P is struggling.
So in
Yeah,
game
probably.
two, they were matched up against each
Yeah.
other a lot, and every single time that I saw, you're right. Siakam was missing those sitters that he normally has, those little mid-range to the free throw
OG
line
bullies people,
jump
right?
shots,
And
push shots.
if he's injured next game,
And to OG's credit, he had a 28-point game. Not too many rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. So it was a solid performance by OG, but that was a game where he actually left with a hamstring, potentially a hamstring injury. A lot of, I think the commentators were saying it might be a cramp. I think it's more than
Yeah, I
that.
heard that cramp. They were saying cramp, but
I
It's
think
gonna
it's more
be-
than that. Just the way that he was flat on that last step and then grabbing at his, But having said that, Tibbs has been going deeper into his bench, and I'm loving seeing Precious out there. I really want to see him get more minutes, and I think he could be a good factor. Hanstein has been doing his thing. Only problem with Hanstein is, the foul issue. He struggles to stay out of foul trouble. And normally they had that system where Mitch Robinson would cover
he
him.
didn't play this game.
Mitch Robinson?
Yeah.
No, he's
it's
out.
out, man.
He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Man. Gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a big deal.
How they still won? Wow.
Well, they lost today. Oh, they lost the last one.
Yeah. But they pushed it, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy win for Pacers.
So this is what I was saying. This is why I picked it to go a little bit longer, is because every game that the Knicks have played so far, it's been close and it's been decided in the last quarter. And like I said, that suits them. That style suits them. That type of game suits them. So I don't think that there's anything to read into that they lost that last game, because they were still in it up until the end.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right up until
I see
Lampard
them
hit that
stealing the
on
next
three.
game
Yeah.
in Indiana.
Yeah, me too. Because I got them winning in 5. If I'm correct.
And someone's got to save these.
No, off the top of my memory, I've got them stealing one
You
away
have
and then
NYC
winning
in
the
5.
5th. Yeah.
You've got NYC in the sweep,
Yeah, because I hate Pacers. I absolutely hate them.
and I've got them in 6.
So, safer fail.
I hate Pacers.
Can I get your thoughts on this, and we'll wrap up this series? So Josh Hart, this was a really cool interview. He was asked about fatigue and playing all those minutes. It was a after post-game interview. And what he said was, you got people waking up at 6 a.m. doing 12-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are tired. For us, we're playing a game. We got to keep that in perspective.
100%. 100%.
I'm
What are your
yawning right
thoughts
now.
on that?
I think I said last week, you're getting paid to play a children's game.
Mm.
Because that's, in the end of the day, it's a children's game. It's invented for kids, for football players. It's a kid's game. He's 100% right. And I respect, for me, I look at it from 2 angles. I want to play all the minutes. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm going to get hurt. I want to be on that court 48. I don't want to go to the bench. I hate the bench. Real ballers hate the bench. It was a
Agreed.
punishment. You're a bob. You're a bum on bench. So I love, like, I can understand the passion and the love. You know, if you love the game, you don't ever want to see it. Never. But at the same time, he's 100% right. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Doctors don't get that. Lawyers don't get that. Police don't get that. They get that. And they want to like sit. Look, come on, bro. Like,
I love that
he's
mentality.
100%
I
right.
love it. He's going to be a fan favorite. He's going to be a fan favorite
is.
very quickly.
Done.
I love it.
He was at New Orleans too. He was
Yeah.
a massive fan for it. It was
Bro,
the
New
energy he'd
Orleans
give.
stuffed
He was
up,
so
man. They had
animated,
an
though.
awesome
He was so
that's-
animated. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, New Orleans did stuff up.
They
That was a
stuffed up.
great young core. Like they
Lonzo Ball, Zion
There's something
Williamson,
wrong with
Brandon
that.
Ingram,
Yeah.
Josh Hart.
Gotta get rid of him.
Even Drew Holiday they had at one stage, didn't they?
Yeah.
Far out,
That
man.
team was a good
There's
team.
something wrong in look. We'll talk about this. I think we'll leave this for another episode because there's a few things that we need to talk about in terms of the culture in the organization. But sticking to NYC, and we'll end on this and move on to the next segment. Ben Simmons popped his fuzzy little head up in the media this week, appearing at the Met Gala.
Don't forget me.
Dressed to the nines.
Don't forget about me.
There was a cool stat with this that I thought was really interesting.
He's dressed well though.
Yeah, I don't know about the
That's
clock thing.
ridiculous.
But the length of the Met Gala goes for 210
Oh,
minutes.
here we go.
He's only played 165 minutes. So we're talking about crazy stats. That's a pretty crazy stat. I don't want to look. Call me old-fashioned, whatever. If you're not playing, I don't want to see your head.
No.
I don't want to see your head unless it's in the gym. I'm sorry. I know you have a life, but like you said, this is what they do for a living. I don't want to see your head
Mate,
popping up.
This guy should be selling. Like, how did he won the lottery like 10 times? He did not do anything. What, he played basketball as a kid? Did some good shots? Played well for a few games? Mate, I probably played at the same level as you when you were in that high school. Like, come on, man, you hit the lottery. You don't do anything. He's got to be the most, like, I loved him, but it's got to annoy you so much that this guy has hit the lottery over and over and over again and doesn't do anything. And you go to work every night. I got to work every day.
He's not the only one, though. But
Nah, it's plenty, but I mean,
I-
he rubs
I
it in
have-
your face.
I have a question to put out there. Which person out there is a fan of that? Of him going to Met Gala rather than recovery? Like, I want to know what kind of fan base out there is like, oh yeah, he looks
Sheep.
so like, come on, man. Come
Sheep.
on, man.
Let us know in the comments. Do you like seeing Ben Simmons? Look, all the Aussies out there. Do you like seeing Ben Simmons off the court if he hasn't played this much? Do you like him popping up in all these media social events? Let us know in the comments.
It's no disrespect to him. We all agree he's got game,
What ahead?
but god damn, put some effort in off the court, man.
Man, I'm seeing all this
Far out, man.
this
It's
issue about Met Galas.
infuriating.
You know what the Met Gala is?
No,
Neither do I, but
because I don't care.
I see it everywhere. And everyone's
did
like,
not
I'm at the
care.
Met Gala. And I thought, who cares
You know-
about the Met
you-
Gala? Get
you
on
know-
the court.
You know when I hear Met Gala, I think high school reunion.
Yeah, look.
What are you doing, man?
All right, we're going to move on to one of our favorite segments, the clip of the week. So our first entry is from Maz.
In the house.
Let's see what you've got.
This is gonna open up some discussion
All right.
points.
High school. Let's have a look. You ready, Oz?
Yeah, mate.
I have a hard time watching high school kids play or younger kids play because they're more talented than ever. They're better athletes than ever. They can do more things than kids 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But they're not better basketball players because this coach or that coach has them playing 6 games on Saturday and they practice once that week. It's totally opposite of what they do in Europe, where you will practice 6 days and you will play once. So you wonder why all these kids coming from Europe, they say, well, why are they so fundamentally sound? Can they all dribble? They can all pass. They can all shoot. Doesn't matter whether they're 5'10" or 6'10".
Talking about
They
practice?
They don't play games.
You talking
Here,
about
it's all
practice?
how many games are we going to play? Major problem number 2. Every kid hires a trainer, like 2-3 hours a week.
Yeah,
And they have
listen
all
to
these
this.
drills, though. They can do that. And they can do all these great things with the ball, one-on-one. The minute you put 4 other players out there and somebody playing defense, they look like they just saw a ghost, right?
100%.
I have a hard time watching
That's
high
it.
school kids play or younger kids play because they're more talented.
Interesting.
than ever.
What do you guys think? Agree? Disagree?
No, I agree. I think we've spoke about this through
I like that.
we
Yeah.
spoke about this.
Yeah, that's why I said
Like
shout
how
out
we
to.
flipped it.
Yeah.
6 games,
Yeah.
6 practices and 1 game. All right, let me play my one since yours has no entry for this week.
Find another one. If not, I've got another entry.
Well, my other one's here. Then.
I've got a couple.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good one.
So you ready for this one? Street ball.
Mm-hmm.
Neat sound.
Oh, shit. No,
Yeah,
he
there
did
you go.
not. Bro. Fatality. What? He gone viral. They knew straight away.
You see
Bro.
that yours?
He went straight into that shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I seen that one.
Oofed. Bro, everyone's feeling sorry for him.
Yo, he ate that pole. No, did he?
Right.
Nice. So we've got 1 entry each. Not bad.
That was a good one.
Let us know who won this week. Some interesting ones. Some thought-provoking ones.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Some
yeah.
entertaining anime and a funny one.
A very good one.
Nice little mix. So we'll move on to our next segment, the kicks of the week.
The Shuking reigns
roll it.
supreme. Do 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 do.
What's going on, guys? Today I'm wearing these Jordans. I bought them. They're red retros. Matt Nav says they're not retros. I love my shoes. I wear them. They're very comfortable. I don't know much about these ones.
Winner, winner.
Yeah, don't know much about these ones. Just know that they're comfortable and they're easy to slip on. And you don't get water inside when it's raining. So, I mean, yeah. That's what she said. Yalla.
All right, I'm up. Harden 2s. Nice and simple. Purple colorway. I don't know the name of the colorway. I tried to find these in Australia. They didn't release them this colorway, but probably one of the best Hardens, the Harden 2. Nice and low to the ground. Good boost cushioning, which I like. Probably one of the best cushions in the Adidas line. And yeah, sending out Harden, sending him farewell. Probably wear these in your, Cancun holiday. Probably the last time as a Clipper. I don't know. Why do your shoes always fit perfectly?
Because I know where to stand. Check, yo. This is the Shoe King in the house, showing you guys how it's done. Kablam!
Last but not least.
The
probably
greatest.
least.
We got the Melo M10s, special colorway, Toronto Raptors.
Why did he release a Toronto? What does Melo have to do with Toronto?
So it wasn't a Melo PE, it was a PE for a Toronto Raptors player on the, what they call it, heel lock?
The heel counter. Yeah.
The heel counter. I love that. That's what I love about these shoes. It's got that Melo logo on the heel counter there. Very sexy
nice.
shoes. So with that, showed the boys how it's done. Royalty at its finest.
That was the kicks of the week. Again, let us know who had the best kicks. Let us know in the comments below. And that brings us to the conclusion of this episode. Yoz, want to send us out?
Actually, Moz, you should send us out, my bro. I love your send outs.
Again, thanks for joining us, the 3 kings of the court. Remember to like, subscribe, give us your shout outs, comment, troll us, whatever you want to do. Ding, 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 ding. And we'll see you with a new one next week. We out.
Yalla. Pace us up.